Hello again, Stroke. Welcome back to another day of me streaming. And today I will do a little bit of Wolcen, Words of Mayhem. Just gonna continue where I left off yesterday, which is me trying to get some of the new unique weapons and offhands. I mean, they're not new, but there's a new tier of shields, catalysts, and weapons that are unique. So it's the old ones, just with higher level requirement and higher stats. So nothing too fancy, but I still wanna test and see if they're actually worth getting now compared to before. So we've got like a little less than 2 hours, so it's gonna be a short stream. But yeah, we're starting in a moment. I'm just gonna quickly check something here. I wanna make sure that my stream is running properly. So let's not do that. Let's get gold stuff. I'm trying to save gold right now. I normally convert all my gold into affinity and then upgrade items with the affinity. But for now I'm actually stashing up gold in case I keep meeting the NPC that sells unique items. So, okay, let's do this. This could end up being some gold and, well, I don't really need the productivity, so this is always nice, but it's 30,000 gold, so I'm just gonna do that one. And might as well go for productivity. And there we are. Let's see now. Have I got everything I needed? Yesterday I actually dropped this one, Reichert's Hope. Yesterday for 2.5 hours I got this one, and then for the next hour after that I didn't get another unique. So it is a slow process. It's not gonna be um, anytime soon that I'm gonna check every single unique item from the new ones, unless I get someone to trade me some of those. But even then I probably won't have much to offer in return. But if anyone wants to farm together, feel free to let me know and we could do it. I'm just need a minute now. Just wanna check if the stream is running. I think it's running fine. I think we're good to go. I think we're good to go. So yeah, again, if you need gear as well, not just help with leveling or with farming, if you need some gear, I do have some crafting bases, some items that may not be the perfect items, but might end up being the perfect ones if you upgrade them. And I farm it level 163 because it's pointless to do 187 unless I want more XP. And the gold rewards, the gold difference between 163 and 187 is barely noticeable. So the magic find is what, 20%, 24% more. Not really worth it for me, and since I'm trying to save gold, I'm not rolling area modifiers right now. I don't think it's making that big of a difference. So far, from my experience, this difference in magic find is barely noticeable. Let's keep moving.
That's not happening.
Kind of having trouble sometimes managing my willpower, but that's just on me. I'm not using the right skills at the right time. The same goes for the rage. Sometimes I'm having trouble managing my rage. Instead, oh, wait, an omen. When did I miss this omen? Oh.
Not possible.
Alright, well. There goes that. So yeah, I'm hoping to get some of the weapons and shields. I think the Neracts, even if I get them, I don't really need them right now, but it's gonna be nice to see what stats they can go for at the maximum tier that they get. Ryger's Hope was a disappointment, but maybe some of the other new uniques wouldn't be. And Ryger's Hope would not be a disappointment if it wasn't broken, if we could actually reroll the sockets to be different types. Because right now, whatever sockets Ryger's Hope drops for, you're stuck with those. You can't change them, and that's not how it should be. I think they probably made a mistake when fixing some other things that resulted in the bug.
That's not.
I can't wait to try some of the... As I said, the shield for the paladin setup might be fun to test, but the problem with that would be that the paladin setup itself is kind of weak compared to others due to the wall damage of the skill itself. Even after they buff the skill, it's still not as strong as one might want it to be. But it's still okay. I mean, for 163 you would be fine. If you're playing a paladin setup with an updated version of the item at 163, you should be fine. Even if you're using what's its name? Smile of the Searing Song, the armor, you might be fine, but since the armors didn't get updated, the armors are still limited to like level 30, 40, 35, etc. I still don't suggest using those unique items unless it's maybe some of the new weapons, but even then they're very case specific. But the shield Shimmering Shadows would give you some nice DPS and survivability for some builds. I really wanted to do my Infinity Blade Slayer's Fury setup with a weapon that gives me access to Infinity Blade and the Shimmering Shadows shield. But since Slayer's Fury and Infinity Blade are still super weak compared to what they should be, I'm still kind of waiting for another real buff of those skills. But I still remember the build I tested on week 1 of the game, and I still am waiting for that build that I tested in the first week of the game's launch to actually become viable. The shadow damage melee shield assassin. Or Spellblade, or Shadowblade. Actually, I was calling it Shadowblade back then. The defensive Shadowblade. Really wanna play that setup, but right now just balance restrictions are not allowing me to play it. Some of the builds that are weak, probably you could play at level 130, 140 maps. And when it comes to 163 or above, they just won't cut it. But the Shadowblade is probably one of the most fun builds I've played. I just wish it was a bit more viable.
It's not possible.
And it definitely would be fun to play it with the Rage Mage legs. Because with the Rage Mage legs you don't even need a weapon that allows you access to shadow spells. You just need the Veiled Eclipse. And the Veiled Eclipse is one of the items I wish they would rework and add new tier. And not just one new tier, but like 2-3 new tiers. I think if the Veiled Eclipse legs could go up to like level 90 or 60 something or whatever, it would be nice.
Not possible.
Because right now all the items go up to 60 and the unique ones supposedly also go to 60. So we just have to kind of wait and see how good they will be. Trying to pull the boss here. Come on, boss. He's kind of slow. Come on. There we go.
It's not possible.
Try to pull him towards the enemies so that he could get hit by the explosions. Alright, we got this. But yeah, it's a long process. Finding the unique items and testing them would take a while. Higher amount of chests? Yeah, I'm gonna do the higher amount of chests. That's the dungeons that have given me the most amount of unique items so far. The ones that have increased amount of chests.
Back for more? Happy to be of service.
Alright, random weapons.
Sure. Seems doable. Let's see how they get on.
Daggers. Bows.
Please, look around. I'm sure you'll find something that takes your fancy.
This one's not too bad, but yeah, not a fan of staffs in this game.
Don't forget about me, adventurer. Yes?
Okay, so I'm really kind of getting full again. Yeah, if anyone wants to take some of the items I've been stockpiling, let me know.
Welcome to the Purple Phoenix.
Let's do the boss map and let's hope I don't brick it. Yesterday I started a map with chests and I think I bricked it by starting it at level 40. It happens to me a lot, getting distracted or whatever. And yeah, forgetting to increase the map level. But as I've said many times, 163 is the best place to farm. Hey Savior, how have you been? I've been fine. Kind of been busy with other stuff lately, but you can see I'm back to test how the new uniques would be in Wolcen. Did you farm some of the new uniques already? I mean, not the new uniques, but the new tier of uniques. And not many improvements. The one improvement I can tell you is unique items getting required level 60. So there's one extra tier for unique items. So you can see this Rygar's Hope. If it wasn't broken, if you could change the sockets, would have been a good weapon now. Because you have 232% material damage on attack with this weapon and the base being 500. With base 500, if you add some gems of around, what should we say? Let's say you add like 300 or what can you add? You can add around 180 rent, roughly 180 toxic and probably 200 physical. I think this can get up to 1000 damage. It's not gonna be 1200, but it can get 1000 damage if I add 3 offensive 1 sockets to it. But the problem is it's broken and you can't reroll the sockets
That's not happening.
on the Rygar's Hope. And all unique weapons and shields and catalysts got a new tier. So that means they would have a required level 60 instead of required level 40 or 35. But that's only for the weapons and for the shields. So far I've only found Rygar's Hope since the update. And when it comes to some changes, major changes, there's nothing. There's nothing that would make people return. Other than maybe opening up new builds with those new unique weapons. I'm trying to farm them to see if they are worth it, if the balance is okay. For the skills and passives, nothing changed substantially. They actually even nerfed things like the Bleeding Edge passive, another nerf, but it's not just Bleeding Edge. Basically they nerfed things like this. Increase the damage dealt by this skill for every ailment stack an enemy has, or this increase the damage dealt by the explosion for every ailment an enemy stack ailment stack an enemy has. So basically everything such as the Bleeding Edge, Despotic Perseverance, increased damage based on ailment stacks, all of that is capped. Now there is a cap on the damage bonus that you can get from skill modifiers like this. So Blade Storm, Bleeding Edge, Plague Burst, Infinity Blades, and what else was it? Havoc Orb. All of those are kind of getting indirect nerf due to the nerf of due to the cap. Not sure this was really needed, but okay, I know why they're doing it. They're trying to make people start playing non-ailment based setups more often, or maybe not, let's not say not non-ailment, but non-ailment based damage. They would still be playing Immortal Offering because it's just too good to miss out on. But I can see why they're making it that way. But before nerfing, they should, as I keep saying, they should start buffing stuff. They did a very bad failed attempt 2 weeks ago with the previous patch to buff the skills that were weak. But the skills that they supposedly buffed barely had any increase in the damage. Like, let's say from 22,000 to 25,000, something like that. Just that's not the real numbers, just an example. Or a skill that was doing 300,000 crits would be doing like 330 or something like that. But yeah, you can't increase 6% weapon damage to 8% weapon damage on a skill that barely does more than the basic attacks and call it a reasonable buff. And I'm talking about Slayer's Fury. So Slayer's Fury, Thunderstrike, what was it? Anvil Swow, Wrath of Buffet. Those are just some examples of skills that with the previous patch supposedly got buffed. I tested all of them 2 weeks ago and they were nowhere near as good as they should be, damage wise. They have to consider the formula of rage spent per damage dealt, and how easy it is to recoup the rage spent compared to the damage a skill does. And they don't seem to be thinking much about that. And they seem to be buffing the wrong things. The things that they need to be buffing is the thing at the bottom here of a skill. Here where it says next level X% damage increase bonus. And skills like Slayer's Fury are the ones that really need a buff on this, because a 0.3% attack damage increase is just a joke. No matter how you look at it, it's just a joke on a skill that barely does more than your basic attacks. I showed it yesterday as well, but I'm not gonna do it again, It's just boring doing it every time, showing people how bad the damage of the skill is. But yeah, I can see at least they're trying to do something. It's a good step for Wolcen to add a new tier of unique weapons and shields and catalysts, but they need to do the same with the armors. Maybe buffing the weapons was just a test to see how it's received. I know they're afraid to overbuff stuff, but they shouldn't be. They've already said they're gonna be taking 4 months of experimenting, rebalancing, and they should keep experimenting and be bold with the changes before they introduce leagues. They want to. What they should be doing, in my opinion, is that before they move on to league content, they want to rebalance everything as best as they can. So if for the next 3-4 months they would be experimenting, tweaking stuff, they should be bold and experiment more. They shouldn't be afraid to make big changes. Even if something needs a nerf later, they shouldn't be afraid to buff it now to see how well it's received. There's no competitive in the game right now, so making something overpowered is not gonna be the end of the world, as long as they try and experiment with making some other skills more viable. Because what the last update they did showed me, not this one but the previous one, it showed me that they're afraid. They're afraid to overbuff stuff. And I don't see a reason why they would be like that. And they still haven't fixed this. This shouldn't show up as a pop-up. This should show up over here on something that I can click. Something that I can click and to get my reward after the fight is over. Because I want to see every single weapon before I make a choice. Now I have to wait and do a whole fight like this. Super bad design in this system. I've been saying that since the day the game released. This is not the way those pop-ups should show up.
That's not happening.
Or I should be able to click a button here on an underscore, and underscore should bring it here, and then I can later collect the reward. Let's see now what this shrine is offering me. Okay, not so bad. Not sure which one the best one would be from the ones that they're offering me. I'm just gonna take something to sell. Everything costs the exact same amount of gold. Alright, let's just take the one-handed, because you never know. Since this is a map with a lot of chests, I should make sure to loot every single possible lootable. Oh!
You are just in
And this is
time.
why I was saving
Now,
gold.
who
Oh,
would you
Bioflow
trust?
Symbiosis. I've actually never looted this one. Okay, now I finally have this one. See, who would wanna wear this armor? When it's only giving 840 HP and 512 force shield. Cause it's capped at 35. Yeah, you can have some very fun builds with this armor, but those builds would
Hurry up.
not be able to
Eat
cut
or
it for
rinse.
163 or higher content. Most of the... Oh shit, no! No! I didn't want to buy it. Well, bought it by accident. Was it expensive? I think it's just 20,000 I wasted.
My part here is over.
Let's see
Cabal
for
of
some more
elimination
chests.
awaits my report.
How am I with the money? 290,000. Okay, it's still enough if I end up seeing another one of those Zeitgeists. So I'm doing increased number of chests map. That's why I'm just checking every nook and cranny. You never know where the uniques are hiding. By the way, Savior, what have you been playing recently? Have you been playing like Path of Exile or Diablo or another game? If you're still there, of course. I know many people have been playing Path of Exile and Diablo recently with the new season and league. Any missed chests here? There we go, one missed. Good thing I came back here, cause who knows how many things I've missed. Another one,
It's not possible.
and another one.
It's not possible.
There we go, almost died there because I didn't have enough mana to cast my spells.
No.
What about this thing? So still nothing too fancy here. I keep miscasting, mispressing the wrong buttons. Kind of my classic mistakes. But I'm loving this rocket spewing build. Oh, another dungeon. Man, this map doesn't end, does it? But yeah, so far this is one of the most fun builds I've played that can do 163 farming. It's got okay damage, not the best damage, but it is enough for me to clear stuff fast if I want to, and it's got okay survivability. Not meta setup, but it's super fun to play it. And it doesn't require any unique items. Of course the trio is good, but even if you don't have the trio, you can just get rid of Plague Burst and use the curse yourself.
Luck favors the bold.
How many more chests are there here? One more. And there should be some more chests. I'm not gonna exit the map yet.
It can't be done.
There's more to explore. And Zizou, I'm loving this hazmat. I'm loving this hazmat peep. Pepe with the hazmat. Are those some new emotes for the coronavirus? Nice to see you back, Zizou. By the way, did anyone from the people that are watching already test some of the new weapons and shields and offhands? I only got Rygar's Hope, and by the looks of it, Rygar's Hope is bugged because I can't reroll the sockets on it, which is kind of a shame because it seems like a good one. It seems like a good increase to the base stats of it.
Not like that.
Seems like for a material-based build, a Rygar's Hope with material sockets inside would be an amazing weapon. I'm assuming the edgy as well might be a nice one. The same way it used to be for the lower level content. Now with the increased bonuses, it might be good. As soon as I get a new one, I would be able to test it. Oh, you didn't play Wolcen since launch. Okay. Yeah, there isn't much new stuff, but I think with those new uniques we can go back to the weird builds. I'm just hoping they would do the same thing for armors. If you wanna get weird build crew back in full force the same way we did in the beta, we definitely need for them to rework the armors as well. Alright, let's just... Okay, I need to go to the regular portal.
The city has been a veritable
That was it
hive
for
of
this map.
activity while you were gone, my friend.
I'm just gonna pick something and sell it.
What are you looking for? A new weapon, perhaps?
Oh, 2 Ereban tiers of the greater variety. That reminds me, I need room. I need room for this armor, and that's gonna be tough to make space for it. What do I get rid of now? Choices. I'm gonna get rid of this one.
Hello there, friend. Please, browse my web.
And let's see if any of the daggers they gave me are actually worth keeping.
You have a good eye.
So far, neither was good. Let's see the bows. I'm also looking for a good bow. By the way, Evakin's Obsession, I really want to make a triple rocket barrage build. So kind of the build that I'm playing right now, except without the blink, without the anomaly and the plague burst, but still a Havoc Orb build. Although it's gonna be without the golem, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult to survive without the golem, but I do want to make a build with
Don't forget
this,
about me, adventurer.
but
Yeah?
3 times with the Vakin's Obsession, so hopefully I can find that
What
bow.
do you wish my contact
Actually, with the
find for you
Vakin's
this
Obsession,
time,
what
my
I can
friend?
do is I can do the same thing I did in the beta. In the beta, I was using something like, let's do it. I was using something like this, and with the Vakin's Obsession, and with the passive that gave me an extra projectile, I could get right now, what am I getting? I'm getting 1, 2, 3 projectiles. I think in the beta I had 6 projectiles with the bow and the passive. But the bow is gonna give me 1 projectile, and the passive is gonna give me... Actually, no, the bow should give me 2 projectiles, right? Yeah, 2 projectiles. So it is gonna be 6 projectiles. If I...
That's not helping.
So I can't wait to try something like that if I get the bow. To have like 6 projectiles. I might even try without adding those extra projectiles and just doing something like this. Or steal the rockets, but with the 3 times. Actually, it's gonna be 4 times. Because with the bow I get 2, and with the passive I can get another one. Or I could just not take the passive, we'll see. And Zizou's been doing Path of Exile. How is Path of Exile nowadays?
Was there something you wished me to...
There?
We have a number of diplomats ready to embark
Oh,
on
that's
any
a lot
mission
of
your
gold.
choosing.
I think that's gonna give me 70,000 gold reward.
Plenty of eager seekers waiting for your word.
Let's get mage armor
Oh,
and
wish I was going
maybe
with
a reagent.
Welcome to the Purple Phoenix.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff I wanna try. Just gonna take a while to farm all the items I want. Okay, what's the requirement? Just to hunt enemies. One thing I like about Vast Epoch is it's not always the same requirement. It's not always hunt down enemies, hunt the boss. You have different things. You have Storm Spire, Fire Spire, or other types of spires. Then you have the forges. Then you have kill an enemy boss. That's like boss from the acts. So you do have some sort of variety there, even when just doing monoliths. Here it's always the same. Yeah, it could be a different type of enemy, but basically here it's hunt down enemies, kill the boss, move on to the next level, or go back to town. Gets pretty boring pretty fast. And I'm gonna be honest here, when Wolcen launched I was really disappointed by the lack of extra endgame. They were promising more endgame, and what did we get? We got what? Just the projects. But that's not gameplay. That's just extra stuff, extra rewards for doing the same type of stuff, for doing the expeditions. So it was not new gameplay. It was not new endgame gameplay. It was new endgame rewards, and that was kind of it. And it was kind of misleading because they were promising more endgame, but we didn't get it. We got the same amount of endgame. And since bounties, or should I call them with their normal name, mandates, are kind of useless. Out of the 2 endgame modes, we've got only 1 endgame mode in Wolcen right now. It's actually worth doing. And it doesn't matter whether you're doing it with untainted or not, it's still the same. Slightly different with untainted enemies, but overall the experience is the same. But let's see in 4 months, after they start adding new content, after they introduce the leaks content, the leak stuff, whether the game would be in a good shape. I'm still hoping that the developers would actually end up doing the right thing. and the game would become good. But for now my hopes are not as high as they used to be before the launch. Whereas with Vast Epoch, I'm actually super impressed by what I've seen. Everything I've seen in Vast Epoch has left me thinking that this game, once it's finished, once it launches, it could be nice. Can't wait to see more classes and more polishing and optimizations in Vast Epoch. But so far, tested 3 classes, and all 3 classes I've tested have felt unique and fun, and could offer me different builds to play them with.
Not happening.
Come on, come close, I won't explode you.
You've been outmatched.
That was nice. The turtle came right on time so I could explode the big guy, the exoskeleton. But yeah, I've been kind of disappointed in the current state of most ARPGs right now, and I've been wondering what else to play. I'm looking for some new games to play that are not Path of Exile or Diablo or this game or Grim Dawn. And yeah, Last Epoch kind of fits the bill, but I'm still having issues with the performance.
It can't be done.
But I'm trying to figure out what else I could play. Soon, Minecraft Dungeons would be out, and I'm definitely gonna play Minecraft Dungeons. But it's gonna be the more casual kind of game, which fits me. I'm more casual kind of player, so Minecraft Dungeons might be something that I would consider investing a purchase into. I don't think it's gonna be too expensive, probably 20-30 bucks. We'll see. I think they already released their prices on their website. I need to check them if it's already out there. But I'm hoping it's not too expensive. But it does look impressive. And since the Legends ARPG is far away, I'm not even considering that one as a possible game to play soon. Hoping that Torchlight 3 would remove the NDA soon, so I could start making videos for it and streaming it again. Because right now the only videos I could make would be just me showing you old footage from the previous builds of the game and just talking about it. That's not the type of content I want to be putting on my YouTube channel. Talking about the game without being able to show you what I'm talking about. When making some news updates. But Torchlight 3 has gotten a lot of good updates over the past month and a half. I'm following every single update, I'm reading the news, I'm reading the patch notes, and I can tell you, if you can get your hands on an alpha key, you might end up enjoying it. If and only if you're a fan of the old Torchlight games. If you are fine with that art style, because I know many people don't like the art style of Torchlight as a franchise. I personally am loving it. Many people associate it with Fortnite's cartoonish, and that's what turns them away. But Torchlight existed long before Fortnite was a thing. But I've heard those arguments. I've heard the argument this game looks too much like Fortnite. And that's just a bad argument because Torchlight exists long before Fortnite was a thing. And cell shading like that, like animated cartoonish graphics have existed
I can't do that right
long before games like Fortnite became popular. And it's a different genre as well, so yeah, it might have that kind of shading to it, but it's definitely completely separate thing. Kind of makes me mad when I hear someone making such arguments about games like Torchlight. But people are gonna be the way they are, so kind of hard to change some people's opinion of a certain art style aesthetic. I'm not a big fan of cartoonish aesthetics either, but Torchlight has definitely always felt right with the way it's done. The world is goofy. It's got that kind of goofy atmosphere to the whole game, and the cartoonish animation in Torchlight definitely fits the bill. But I'm a big fan of Path of Exile and Diablo 2 and Grim Dawn, all that dark theme going on for it. And Wolcen kind of also fits that theme, although it is kind of less dark than, let's say, Path of Exile in certain cases, but in others it is super dark. Can't wait to see Diablo 4. So far, all the footage they've shown us from Diablo 4 seems to really fit the bill. It seems that the Witcher, the person who was working on the Witcher series that joined the Diablo franchise definitely has influenced his
What are you
team,
looking for? A new
because I can see some similarities in the direction and the ways in the direction that Diablo 4 is going. I can see some similarities from the Witcher game series and the atmosphere that those were giving off. But we're probably 2 years away from a playable beta in Diablo 4, not
Greetings,
playable
my
alpha,
friend. How may I
like the
help?
one they showed on BlizzCon. And speaking of BlizzCon, this year's BlizzCon we would probably see a nice demo, a nice expanded demo of Diablo 4. I'm really hoping for something like that this year. But yeah, if you know some many other games, any other ARPGs
My
that are worth
contacts are
testing,
waiting for your
feel
word.
free to let me know. I'm kind of
Greetings,
looking
my
for
friend.
new
There are
new
caravans.
games to
Give
keep
me
me
word,
busy.
and I'll prepare a security detail.
What are you, what? Oh, sorry, my lady.
Preferably
Where are
new
you sending
ones,
the
not
seekers?
ones that have been out for a long time. Because if it has been out for a long time, I've probably played it.
There's a
And
lot
if
of
I'm
us
not playing it,
that
then
are
probably I
living
don't like it.
pipelines. But if anyone can put it off, it's Stormfall Seekers. Contract.
Getting those uniques, kind of a challenge.
Not right now.
Alright, explosion time. Alright, sometimes I'm hitting
Not
some
possible.
objects that shouldn't be there. Or at least I should be able to walk through those. Like I'm hitting some sort of box on the ground, stones on the ground that are preventing me from moving. And it doesn't make sense because I should be able to walk over a damn stone. Like this stone, I should. Sometimes I get I start bumping into stones like those ones. Oh, this was a brilliant explosion. There's something about big guys and exploding them, making them burst. Just pay attention now, he's gonna burst. Just look at that, such a nice mess. I think I need to go this way first. Yeah, let's try and group them up now. This didn't work out the way I planned it. I was planning on getting a train of all of them to follow me, but my pet, my summon, kind of ruined it. Because he stopped them there and he got them stuck in this place here. If only I could unsummon the pet for a moment and then summon it back again. We definitely need more control over the summons. We need to be able to tell them to focus fire and to be able to desummon them. Hoping I can see the Zeitgeist a couple more times today. Maybe get a unique weapon or two. I'm not even sure which unique weapon I want the most. I definitely want edgy though. I definitely want to try on edgy, and I definitely want to try some of the one-handed weapons as well. Just to see how they got improved. And most of all, I want the two shields, the Paladin and the Shadow, the Shimmering Shadows shield. So Quintet and Shadows, those I really want to test. How strong they became after the changes.
Not right now.
J-Mans, yeah, J-Mans, we are here, we are back here.
I can't do that.
I've been trying to farm some stuff, but since you know the drop rates of uniques are not the best, it's gonna take a while. If someone wants to trade me, feel free to though. If you have some of the new unique items, even if you send me a screenshot, it's gonna help me realize whether it's good or not. So if you found some of the new tier, like required level 60 unique weapons and offhands, and you have a screenshot that you can send me, I would really appreciate it. I don't even need to see the weapon and to use it. All I need is a screenshot of the stats to see how the level 60 item card looks like. Yeah, the new Quintet hopefully would be nice for the Paladin build. They still need to bump a little bit more the damage of Wrath of Buffet. But what they need to do, most of all, they need to do the same thing for the armors, the unique armors. I really want to see Smile of the Searing Song giving a little bit more resistances than it does right now. And right now I think Smile of the Searing Song is limited to level 40 or 35. If we have a new tier of one that's limited to level 60, to make it almost as good as an exoskeleton in regards to how much resistances it gives. Like even if it gives 6, 7, 800 resistance, it's gonna be fine. I'm not asking for a unique item with 1200 resistances, but at least 800 resistances would be fine. So I'm hoping that they would update those armors as well. Smile of the Searing Song is such a great armor, and I really have a lot of ideas of builds for it, as long as I can get enough resists. The problem with Smile of the Searing Song is you cannot use Immortal Offering builds. With Smile of the Searing Song you can only apply weakness, which means you cannot get extra 6 times 25. So you're losing what, 150? You're losing 150% extra bonus damage if you're using Smile of the Searing Song. You're only getting, that's when you're using Immortal Offering. Because with Immortal Offering you get 6 times 25 when you get max stacks from the 7 different types. But with Smile of the Searing Song you can only apply weakness as an ailment, which probably is good for a support build. For a supporty build, but as I said before, the best support build is one that can apply all types of ailments.
You've been somewhere.
In the current state of the game, if you want to be supporting your teammates, you just need to make sure you're surviving and you're applying ailments. That's all you need to do. If you're applying more ailments, you're buffing the damage of your teammates by a lot if they're using bleeding edge meta setups or other things like that.
Don't forget about me, adventurer. Yes?
Resistance buffing also is not bad though. Resistance buffing or using things like anomaly to group up the enemies. I think the build I'm playing with right now is also a decent one to combine with someone playing a bleeding edge setup.
Plenty of missions for you to peruse.
Okay, more gold, more gold.
Oh,
Stashing up the gold now.
I was just telling this young'un.
And more gold.
Glory days. Where are you
Oh.
thinking of sending the Seekers today?
Might as well get a reagent.
Dangerous by any chance?
Heal to force shield conversion broken. And force shield doesn't count resist. Yeah, a force shield, of course it doesn't count resist, because force shield doesn't give you resists. So if you go for a force shield build or for a HP build, you're sacrificing resistances. And that's why force shield builds are not that good. The whole system is broken. They made a very bad balancing in regards to resistances existing in the game the way they do right now. So physical resistance, elemental resistance, occult resistance, all of those, I mean, there's something off about them. If you want to have force shield and HP and all resistance, they need to rebalance the enemies. So that maybe some enemies would be weak against force shield, or some enemies would do less damage against your HP, but would do more damage if you have high resistances, something like that. They need to completely rework this whole armor system. It's not working well, and at the moment if you're using anything other than all resistance gear, then you're sacrificing defenses. And right now force shield builds and HP builds are just something that's only good as a fun build for low level content. It just doesn't work. As I told you, level 130 enemies. If you probably remember me doing it a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I was fighting level 130 enemies on a 243,000 HP build with Smile of the Searing Song with this armor, and I was still getting 1-2 shot because I didn't have resistances. I only had HP and force shield. So yeah, kind of they need to change a lot of things. Otherwise people, I don't see a reason for having that many different types of armors. It probably has not been tested enough. I mean, it's a good idea, but it's very badly executed. It's a good idea to have force shield, it's a good idea to have HP builds and to have options that are not all resistance, but right now, if you're not getting the resistances, you just can't survive. things can one-shot you. If you don't have resistances and you go to 187, if you have 300,000 force shield and force shield leech, wife leech won't help you if you get one shot. There's probably a few specific cases where you might be able to survive, and that's when you're using dire juncture and this one, and maybe some other damage reduction things like disallowing vessel and secure parry, maybe some other things, but you're sacrificing a lot to get those things. Dire juncture, of course, is always needed. I suggest using Dire juncture on any build you play, regardless whether it's a tank or not non-tank, a mage, a ranger. It's just too good of a skill not to take it. But yeah, even with that, 4 shield builds still would kind of get wrecked at the high levels. And that's the sad story about Wolcen right now. It's just in a bad shape regarding skill balance and power, regarding armor variety that you want to be using for the late end game content. And a lot of things are still not working properly. But 4 months is not a small amount of time. If they said they need 4 months to fix it, well, they better start listening to the people that are giving them feedback. And they better do both decisions. There's no point in being scared to buff stuff. Buff stuff. If it's too overpowered, nerf it, but don't be afraid to buff it in the first place. If something is not strong, just boost it. Then worry about rebalancing it. As I said earlier today, there's no competitive aspect to Wolcen yet. And all the progress we are doing right now is gonna become useless once they introduce league content. So they might as well just use this as an opportunity to do a open beta testing of some new rebalancing stuff. I'm gonna be happy to keep giving feedback and keep testing after every patch. But I wanna see big changes. I don't wanna see them upgrading some active skill modifiers, but just 2% and calling it a buff and a reasonable one. Extra 2% ain't gonna change a skill that barely does enough damage to be stronger than my basic attack. I'm having speed shrines. Wait, did I come? Oh, I didn't come from here. So that means there could be something cultable here. If only I could have this speed all the time. If you remember, in the beta I was playing a super speed, supersonic spin to win build, where I was maximizing my movement speed. That was actually quite a fun build. I might go back to it and try and play it a bit in this game, because after this game launched, there's a lot more options and possibilities for a super speed, movement speed spin to win setup. Not as much damage as one might want, but the movement speed can go so high with that many skill points we've got. I also hope that they rework the XP gains in the game before they start doing their league content. Because you see how little this game is played right now, how small number of people are playing it right now compared to, for example, week 1, 2 and 3 after the launch. Okay, another Zeitgeist, second for today. Actually pretty nice. Yesterday for more time I saw this one less. Oh, I've never seen this one. I didn't even know this existed. What sort of an item is that one? A rogue. Health 4 shield, so ferocity, passive, dodge chance score, crit chance score when hitting a poison, crit chance score when hitting a bleeding target. A material element chance score. Okay, I already know what build this is for. This is for a build with the 2 daggers. If you're using the poison and the bleeding, unique dagger. For an ailment build. Ailment damage build. But again, required level 35. This is just a joke. 276 HP. It's just 153 force shoot. It's not gonna do much for me, is it? But yeah, it's the first time I'm seeing this item. I didn't even know it existed. I'm surprised to find out something like that this late after the game launched. Let me just read the chat now. They have 4 quest trees that essentially don't matter. Exorcist buffs melee and projectile damage, but then you can't run a pistol melee build, so why even bother giving a tree like that? Actually, I think you can still use a pistol melee build with a shield. With a shield you can use melee attacks and projectiles. So for example, Anvil's Woe is not considered projectile, but you can use it with a shield and a pistol. But then you've got something like, for example, Havoc Orb. And Havoc Orb, you actually don't even need a pistol. You can use it with a dagger. Of course, you could use it with a pistol, but that's a projectile. Then there's Gunslinger's Brand, which you can only use with bows and pistols. So you can have a pistol and melee setup at the same time. Whether the skill is melee or not depends on the skill itself. So yeah, certain weapons give you access to certain skills. You can probably use a one-handed weapon and a pistol. But I think shield and pistol would be the preferred option, because it's gonna give you more survivability. They don't have a parry system where using a weapon gives you parry and using a shield gives you block. So they also don't have a system where the offhand weapon, if you don't use a shield but use a weapon in the offhand, where you get some good bonuses from it. So at the moment using dual wielding is not suggested in this game. Unless it's some unique items that give you special abilities that you really want to combine. For example, the bleeding dagger and the poison dagger for ailment damage setup. Something like that might end up working. Or having 2 unique pistols with different effects, so you can proc both effects. For example, the it forces us to use basic attacks. Let me check what you're talking about. Which skill are you referring to? You said the Exorcist skill 3. Which one was this? Was it this one? No, was it this one? Wait, where was the Exorcist? Am I missing something? Oh, this one. Well, see, this one doesn't force you to use melee. Actually, I'm using the Exorcist right now, and it's pretty nice. because I can keep this projectile damage at all times. Yeah, for this one it's kind of different. But for this one you also don't need to be using basic attacks. And for this one you also don't need to be using basic attacks. So which one are you talking about? So I'm using this, and I have kind of like a permanent 50% projectile damage with those two, and I'm not even using melee attacks, basic melee attacks. Well, those nodes give melee damage, but you have to consider there's a way to get melee damage based on projectile damage. So there is a unique item that gives you melee damage based on projectile damage. So all that projectile damage that you're getting from this tree, you can convert into melee damage with that item. I'm gonna show you in the town. Basically you're stacking projectile damage, but then part of this is converted into melee. And you're gonna be building as a melee instead of a projectile build. Yeah, the hat, exactly. James Stouteo. So that's what you might want to be doing here. And this 50% projectile damage that I've got right now. Yeah, exactly. You might want to consider playing with that. Experiment with it. I mean, be bold. Experiment with stuff, and maybe you might stumble upon a fun build. Stacking shitstones of projectile and melee bonuses. You also have projectile and melee here. That actually used to be 20% projectile and melee. They nerfed it before the game launched, but in the beta those nodes were 20% and it was pretty strong.
I need more power.
Yeah, they probably were thinking that, but they never made it like that. I mean, I always liked swashbuckler kind of playstyle with pistol and a saber, or pistol and a rapier. I always enjoyed that, and there have been games where we have those kind of pirate heroes, and I've always played them, but right now we don't have this playstyle being rewarded that much. Unless you're stacking some unique items that give you special effects, you're not gonna be benefiting much from it. And there's no way to switch between pistol or melee attack. There should be a way to toggle. So let's say I have a pistol and a dagger equipped, or a pistol and a sword. Then I should be able to switch between one and the other basic attack, between melee or ranged basic attack, depending on what I want. There should be probably a button that I hit to toggle on or off. Or maybe even automatic. When the enemy is nearby it switches to melee, when they are far it switches to ranged. But even if there's a toggle button that I can click to switch it on or off, to swap between melee or ranged, that would be nice. I mean, if you give me time I can think of so many quality of life things to benefit the players. If there's one thing I can do is think of things that would make the game playable by everyone, to be casual friendly, so to say, not just appealing to the 1% top players, but appealing to the masses. But there's many ways you could change the game to benefit such a playstyle. First of all, they really need to consider doing something with the game rewarding using a weapon in your offhand, getting more bonuses when using a second weapon in the offhand slot.
You should take a look.
What are you looking for? A new weapon, perhaps?
Do I want to keep this?
Your
Let's just sell it.
pettiness is appreciated.
So now where do I put this gauntlet? I'm gonna have to get rid of something. I really wanted to save some rogue items, because you never know when they're gonna make rogue playstyle viable. Right, let's remove this one.
I'll be
I really
here when
want
you
more
need me,
stash
friend.
space though. I really need more stash space. They've apparently made more servers, because you can see it says prod live. So they probably have more servers for developers to go on in, with different versions on Steam that we cannot access.
Greetings, my friend. How may I help you?
But yeah, I'm happy that they're making changes. It's just they
Your
need to be a little
patronage
bit
is appreciated.
less afraid to make big changes. Big changes are what might end up getting players to return to the game after they've quit it.
My
Because most of the
contacts are
people who
waiting.
quit the game are not even
Mission for
considering
you to
returning to
close,
it.
Are you
And
looking for
that's
me?
not really nice, but not much can be said about it anymore.
Come in. There's no need to be shy. We go way back, no?
Alright, let's do Abyssal Rift this time. Right. I'm gonna do a few more maps. Hopefully I get another Zeitgeist, but with a weapon for sale this time. But yeah, Gunslinger's Brand and Bleeding Edge is not a bad combo, and they both benefit from ailment based damage. One of them gets crit chance, the other one gets just more damage based on how many ailments an enemy has. So both of those don't get benefit from ailment damage, but more like how many ailments an enemy has on them. So it's a good combo. It's definitely a nice synergy there. But Gunslinger's Brand still seems weak to me. Maybe that's not working. Maybe this thing. Where was it? This thing here. No. Where was the modifier? Oh wait, this one. Endless throws. Maybe this one doesn't work yet. Even though they nerfed it, I tested it before the nerf, and it was just not giving me that good damage numbers. But the problem with using James's Toe Tail is you're sacrificing a lot of resistances Which again brings us back to the problem with using items that don't give resistance being a bad idea, because the game is not well balanced in regards to the different armor types. They had a good idea to give us a variety of different armors and different builds to go for, but it backfired completely and terribly on them, so yeah. Just good idea, just not well executed. Having force shield and HP as alternatives to resistances. Right now those alternatives are kind of only good for some cases, like when leveling up, when doing the story, when doing easy content,
Can't manage that right now.
just for some sort of alternative fun builds. And that's kind of it.
Not right now.
Man, I'm loving this movement speed. If only I could move that fast all the time without sacrificing this bug. Did you see this bug? I kept moving and it kept going backwards because it was trying to target something that didn't exist. I can show you. It was targeting that pillar that was in the forefront of the screen. So you see this pillar, it was trying to target it and it was making me go all the way around. Pretty weird, not sure how I managed to do it. Wait, I need to kill that one there. Come on, chest. Disappointing chest. But it was a white chest, so can't say I was expecting much more from it anyways. And it's time for the boss fight. And my pet is trolling me. I'm trying to pull the boss where the enemies are, but the pet is holding him. Come on, pet.
It can't be done.
Fuck. Now the other enemies died. Well, let's just kill the boss. Could have already killed him by now if I wasn't messing with him.
The bigger they are, the harder.
Perfect. Wild Omen's location. Let's do that now.
Good to have you back. There have been some developments while you were gone.
Wild Omens and a boss or chest. I'm gonna get the chests one. I don't wanna be doing boss right
There's
now.
no need to be shy.
I'm not
We
crafting,
go
so
way back, no?
The caravan will need a lot of protection.
goat,
As long as
goat.
they have their wits about them,
Some more gold here and oh, catalysts. Might as well grab that too.
Hello there, friend. Please browse my wares.
What should I do first, chests or omens? I'm thinking of doing omens first.
Don't Don't forget about me,
And chests
adventurer.
next.
Yes?
Let's not
Yes.
brick it,
Contract.
because I'm often bricking my maps. And hi, peace, Mr. World Games. Welcome back. Nice to see you again. Did you try playing with Bragi? Did you try the crit build on Bragi on Chaos Bane? Because you were asking me the other day, you were asking yesterday about Chaos Bane damage setup. Keep in mind with Bragi, you're gonna be a little bit squishy on Chaos 8 and 9 and 10. I actually wouldn't suggest even farming Chaos 10, it's not worth it. Chaos 9 farming is probably where you wanna end up when you gear up. With the other characters you can have better survivability, but with Bragi the damage can be amazing with the crit based build. But you do need the Tom King's DLC to get the most out of it. Even if you don't have Tom King's DLC, the thing you need is the God Skills DLC with the second God Skill tree, so you can get the passive that gives you crit damage based on your counter attack damage. Whew, this is a nice one. 1013 all resistance score. Attack speed, crit chance, wisdom. Unfortunately health regeneration, but if anyone wants this, let me know, I can give it to you. It's probably better than what most people are using, so wouldn't mind sharing the item. The pistol melee animation, by the way, J-Mans, I'm not even sure what that is, a pistol melee animation.
That's not happening.
Let's group them up. Actually, no. Omen first, enemies later. Ah, don't escape, don't escape. Kill it with fire. Ah, fuck, don't escape. No, fuck. I hate it. I hate having to kill omens with this build. It's just so easy for them to escape. I have no way of cancelling out the animation of Havoc Orb, and I have to wait every time I use it. I have to wait for all 5 rockets to shoot before I can move and catch up to the enemy. Things like Aether Jump or Dodge Rolling should be interrupting attacks. In between, in the middle of their animation, it should be interrupting, cancelling out the animation, and yeah, it just doesn't feel right the way it is right now. And as I said, they really need to nerf those omens. They need to rework them. Maybe to need to take a certain amount of hits before they die. Because the omens shouldn't be something that's challenging. It should be just something that's you snooze, you lose. Not you can't do enough damage, you lose. Because right now, if you're not doing some super strong build, you're not gonna be even able to kill those on time. Are there any more of those?
Can't manage that right.
Alright, let's find the next one. Was that all? No more omens? 3 omens only on this map?
Not happening.
Okay, that one's done. There should be at least one more omen. It can't be just 3 omens in the whole map. Maybe it's downstairs, we'll see.
That's not happening.
Let's check downstairs. Wait, where is the... Oh, there we go. Please tell me there's another one here.
I can't do that.
Nope, no omen here. But there's a chest at least.
It's not possible.
Okay, there we go. Oh, did I get the sound glitch? Yeah, for a few seconds there were no sounds from the enemies. Weird.
Look at that. What a beauty.
Alright, we're doing this map. Oh, it's almost done. Just need to kill some more primordial guardians, and then there's gonna be one more map with the chests. Hopefully we can get a zeitgeist or a unique item. I think there's a primordial guardian here that I need to kill, yeah. Might have missed one over there too. Can I pull him towards where there's more enemies?
No. I can't do that.
Alright, that should do it. I was trying to push more enemies to burst him. Maybe there's an omen down here. Well, no omen here. Let's go. Let's do the next one. That's a nice crafting base, by the way. Rent and material percent.
Don't be shy. Mojave has everything a soldier
What
needs.
about those legs? They could have been nice, but they aren't. No HP bonus, no resistance bonus.
Quality on this one is unmatched.
So yeah, last chance, if anyone wants that armor, let me know in the next minute and I can save it for you, otherwise it's probably getting sold. We'll see. If I have room to put it in the warehouse, I will. If I don't,
Don't be
then
shy. Mojave has everything a soldier needs.
let's see. 741. Definitely not as good as that one here. But this one, yeah, let's replace it. Maybe I can sell this one. I'm gonna check if I've got something crappier to get rid of. This one has 200 O resistance score. What? If this one gets a 90+%, it can be over 1100, so I think it's worth saving. It could also get upgraded to 5 stars. It's right now 2 stars. So I'm going to get rid of damn, tough choices. Let's get rid of this.
Tell your friends, Mojabe's stand in the Palace District. A fine item. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm good to go for the next one.
You are welcome here.
This one I need, then I need this
Shouldn't
one
cause him
and
too much
this
trouble.
one. Maybe this one,
The
and
dark market.
might as well throw
Never
in
heard
that
of
one.
it. Sorry, my friend.
So, should I say that this might be the last map? I know my stream today was a little bit short, actually quite short, but yeah, I've been busy with other stuff during the day trying to finish
Talk
something
later.
else. Not game related. Well, it is game related, but not this game related and
That's
not
not it.
PC related. So let's make sure I don't miss a single wootable on this map. Since it has an increased number of chests and wootables, I'm gonna be checking every corner of the map. See this one here. We never know where the unique items are hiding. Oh, offering shrine.
I can't do that.
I guess it doesn't matter which one I pick, they're all shit. One here. And one here.
Not right now.
There we go. This one took a while. Oh, almost missed this. Dropped some gems, and if I'm seeing correctly, guess I'm not. For a second I thought there was a lantern that I could woot on the
Can't let
floor.
this happen. That's not it.
Okay, let's keep moving here. I'm thinking of going this way first. And let's see this one. This looks like a nice chest. I'm gonna pick up the ring and amulet at least. Not been killing much, so might as well kill them on the way back. Legendary boots. Please give me a unique, come on. So far today I couldn't even test a single one. And yesterday I also couldn't test a single one because I only got Rygar's Hope yesterday. This is gonna take so long to get all those weapons that they boosted and test them and see if they are viable. Unless I see screenshots. I keep forgetting to look for screenshots in the Discord channel. Maybe there's gonna be something there in the trade chat. Right, let's check here.
Can't manage that right now. That's
Maybe
not
this
happening.
way. Oh, there we go. Almost missed this one. Okay, I'm done here. Let's go the other way. Final stretch here. And
It's not possible.
maybe here. What's hiding under this rock? A bunch of bullshit. Well, there's one more place we haven't been, and it's that room, and that's it. Yeah, that was it. At least I got one legendary. Nothing too fancy though, sorcerer boots, so kind of a bad map. Not even basic, what's its name? Not even a basic reagent dropped. Okay, I think I'm done for today. I'm gonna have to do more tomorrow. I did see the NPC twice. The NPC for the unique items, I saw her twice, or maybe was it 3 times? But it wasn't selling good stuff. Oh, look at this item. 424 all resistance. If I can get this to give me over 1000 HP, it has a huge potential to be something like that one. I'm looking for another one like this. Okay, well,
You have a good eye.
that's actually very nice, Droppy. I'm gonna keep it. But yeah, there's gonna be more tomorrow, and as I said, my main mission is to find all sorts of unique weapons and items, like catalysts and shields, that have required level 60 with the new boosted tier. You can see for a difference, just check what the difference is between this one, 347 damage, and this one, 504. There definitely is a substantial difference. And this one is 190% material damage. This one is 232. So socketing it. The problem with the Rygar's Hope is they broke it, and as I showed yesterday, you cannot change the sockets. They made a whoopsie here, so Even if you get 200, it's not guaranteed that dropping 200 Riker's Hope you're gonna get one with 3 times offensive socket number 1, which you really need to get the most out of it. So there's a lot of things I want to be testing, but until they drop, I'm gonna keep farming. Thanks everyone for watching, keep it cool, more tomorrow, and until next time, and to peace Mr. Word if you're still watching. Yeah, Alessa is much easier to play than Bragi in Chaos Bane. It just she can't do as much damage, but it's much easier to play for sure. So again, until next time and goodbye.